Does that even make sense to you? Does that even make sense to you?
If there were any crimes against Adam Schiff, then they would have brought them up at any point unto this point, but they haven't. And so
then
Donald
why
Trump
pardon him?
knows
Then
that
why
because-
pardon him?
In this video, we join a panel on Piers Morgan Uncensored, where Andrew Wilson and Brian Tyler Cohen get in a heated debate. Andrew Wilson and Brian Tyler Cohen argue over the subject of Joe Biden pardoning the members of the January 6th committee. With that, let's watch Andrew Wilson destroy woke dummy Brian Tyler Cohen.
From the White House podium, which I thought was so damaging to his legacy and to the reputation of his administration, to do that from the podium in such a brazen and ongoing manner for months on end, and then to just do it anyway. But this development now, where they're almost second guessing that, as the Republicans were saying, I think a lot of sympathy for this, that they're saying, look, clearly the justice system was weaponized against Trump. They tried everything to put him in jail, and a lot of the people that work for him. So now Trump is suggesting that maybe we return the favor, as of course he was going to. Now, he did say, I don't want retribution. I think the best revenge is success, which is an old Frank Sinatra line, which I use in a column. I suspect that's where he got it. But I think that would be a very good strategy. Don't look back, look forward. However, the fact that Biden may be moving to give people blanket immunity against any possible crimes they committed for many years, I think is outrageous, don't you?
Piers, I think that if you're not looking at it in the context of why it's being done, then you're just ignoring reality here. The reason that Biden has to consider preemptive pardons for people like Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney is because Donald Trump is storming into office by assembling a Justice Department and folks around him in the legal community who have promised to enact Donald Trump's retribution.
But what if they've committed crimes?
He's doing it.
What
Let's
if
not
they've
pretend
committed
that it's
crimes?
happening in a vacuum here.
Yeah, but Brian, what if they've committed crimes, genuinely, like Hunter? What if they have committed crimes?
If Adam Schiff has committed crimes,
Yeah.
he hasn't. There's no suggestion that he has.
How do you know?
Because how do you know that he has? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Why pardon him?
Why pardon him is because
why
Donald
pardon him
Trump
if he hasn't committed crimes?
Because Donald Trump's FBI director is coming into office with an enemies list. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, you're saying they're going to manufacture crimes against Schiff? Is that what you're saying? You're saying that they're going to manufacture crimes against Schiff? Does that even make sense to you? Does that even make sense to you?
If there were any crimes against Adam Schiff, then they would have brought them up at any point unto this point, but they haven't. And so
then
Donald
why
Trump
pardon him?
knows
Then
that
why
because-
pardon him?
Yeah.
Then why pardon him? Makes no sense. Your logic is totally flawed here. Makes no sense.
It's not flawed.
I
The
can
reason
answer
to
that
pardon
question.
him.
Okay, Julie, let me bring.
Brian Tyler Cohen is completely just wrong here. If Trump and his team believe these folks, we'll use Adam Schiff as an example because they brought him up, if they believe they've committed crimes, then they should be investigated. If they have not committed crimes, they have nothing to worry about. There's no need for a pardon. And for Brian Tyler Cohen to say, well, he hasn't committed any crimes. How do you know? What are you talking about? I guarantee Trump's legal team has a lot more information on this than you. And there sure was a lot of fishy stuff going on with the Russia collusion hoax and the January 6th committee. So what are we even talking about here? And personally, I believe some of these people have committed crimes. I don't want anybody investigated just for retribution, and I don't want any crimes made up or evidence made up to put people in jail. But if people are suspected of having committed crime and there's sufficient evidence to prove that, they should be investigated. If they didn't commit a crime, they don't need a pardon. Nothing to worry about.
Bring in Julie, if you can answer it, answer it.
I can answer that question because Donald Trump went to meet the press yesterday and said point blank that he thinks that the January 6th committee committed crimes. What crimes?
did.
I don't know. Maybe doing their due diligence. Stop. Maybe doing their due diligence oversight.
We have got
And as
that clip.
members of
Let's play. I'll
Congress,
tell you
they
what.
have. They have.
Let's play that. Julie, hang on.
They have immunity.
Hang on, Julie. I want to play the clip.
So
we
the
can,
point here. Yes.
Let me play the clip again so we know exactly what you're talking about. We played it early, but we'll play it again.
This was a committee, a big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee. For what they did, honestly, they should go to jail.
Yeah. So
what
I mean,
the hell
look.
is he talking about? That so there's no. So let's just preface this. None of that is true.
Mm-hmm.
None of that is true.
How do you know?
Just
Out of
because he
interest,
says it doesn't make it true.
how do you know?
How do I know? Because I would assume that because his
assumptions
lawyers
are a very
would have
dangerous
filed a
thing when it
motion.
comes to fact gathering.
I'm answering your question.
Saying that Donald
His
Trump's
lawyers
Justice
would have
Department is going to manufacture evidence of crimes, or aren't you? Because if
Can
they're
I
not,
answer
you
the
have
question,
no
or do you want to
reason to
keep
pardon
interrupting
these
me?
people.
Do
You're not
you
really
want me to
answering the
keep talking?
question. You're going on a
Okay.
diatribe.
Well, you're not letting me answer. You're not letting me answer the question.
Answer, but be
Do
concise.
I believe
I
that
actually want to hear it.
Okay. Well, actually, thank you so much for telling me how to speak.
You're
I
welcome.
think that Donald Trump just sent a very big message to Pam Bondi as to what he expects. And he expects her to start and to Kash Patel to start investigating these people. Whether they get indicted or not, it doesn't matter. It is expensive, it is consuming, and it becomes a huge pain in the you-know-what to be investigated by the federal authorities. And that is the message that he is sending.
Like the Russian collusion.
He knows full well that there is nothing that's been destroyed, because had it been destroyed, his lawyers would have filed a motion.
Yeah, but Julie,
and
I would
they
say
never
to you,
did throughout
but
all
Julie,
They
of
were
this
not in a
Julie, hang on,
position where they could investigate
hang on.
this. They were not in a position to do that.
I would say to Julie, look, when you
weren't.
weaponize the justice system of the United States of America against a president of the United States, first ever criminal court case we've ever seen involving a president, and it's about shuffling some paperwork over an alleged one-night stand he denied.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
With a porn star 18 years ago. When you render the justice system to be such a politically motivated farce, and most Americans actually thought that, when you do that as an administration, when you allow that to happen, you open up a whole can of worms. You've done it first. You've gone after this guy. You've tried everything you could, however petty, trivial, ridiculous,
Now
to try
you
and
reap
put him
the
in jail.
whirlwind.
And when it doesn't work and it actually
All right,
backfires and it fuels him and he ends up winning big.
So you're talking about a state. So you're talking about
Piers, that's
by
the
the way,
New York
Piers, you're talking
case.
about a state. You're talking about a state charge that has nothing to do with Joe Biden. If you're talking about the federal
I'm
investigation,
talking about a Democrat-motivated prosecutors who were doing their master's lead, right?
I don't know who you're talking about. If you're talking about the Justice Department, over which Donald Trump will have authority by appointing an attorney general, I am telling you that what the Justice Department under Joe Biden was investigating is the fact that Donald Trump refused to return classified information that he stored in his bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. It is the fact that he incited a violent riot that effectively harmed and hurt our transfer of power for the first time in our nation's history.
Well, you're now
So
convicting
from that
him of all these
perspective,
crimes, which he's not being convicted of.
I'm not
None of them.
I'm
The
not
only thing he's
convicting him
being
of anything
convicted of
because
is
a jury
shuffling
has not
paperwork
convicted him.
Zero.
with a porn star. And let me rephrase.
but that's-
Hang on. Well, let me rephrase what I was saying. I'm talking about weaponizing the justice system. Let's make it a more all-encompassing thing, where you have Democrat slanted prosecutors who just want to jail Trump, even if it's down for shuffling paperwork over a porn star. To me, it was utterly ridiculous, that case. And the idea that you then criminally convict...
I don't disagree with that.
Well, right.
Case.
So my
I don't
point is,
disagree with
right,
that-
I don't think
with that
anyone
case.
disagrees with it, really. So here's my point: is that as a Democrat, when you look at this, what's happening now, why wouldn't Trump do this? I mean, he's perfectly entitled to return the favor, isn't he? All's fair in love and politics.
To do what?
This lady going on and on with Piers is how much garbage has she spewed already? At the end there, Piers Morgan said, well, they did it to him. Why shouldn't he return the favor? And I don't know if I completely agree with that. But if they believe these people have committed crimes, which I can't say for sure, but I believe there's enough evidence there to at least investigate them. And like Andrew Wilson said very early on, if they haven't done anything wrong, nothing to worry about. The only other way they would be in trouble is to suggest that Donald Trump's administration is just going to make up crimes or make up evidence to convict them of something they didn't do. That's not going to happen. Then this lady says it's going to be too expensive to use the Department of Justice to investigate this. Coming from a Democrat, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Your side doesn't care about the money we send to Ukraine, other countries overseas. Didn't care about all the time and money that was wasted over the Steele dossier and Russian collusion with zero consequences. And I'll be very clear in saying I don't think Trump should weaponize the DOJ as retribution for all he's been through, only because it sets a bad precedent. I do think you should use the DOJ to go after people that they genuinely believe have committed crimes. And I think there are a number of them out there that are legitimate investigations. However, let's say he was being extremely petty and said, I'm just going to go after everyone that's gone after me. After everything they have done to this man, even if he did that, could anyone really blame him? Put yourself in his shoes for a minute. How many human beings do you think could have gone through everything that he has experienced and would still have a desire to be president? The man has more money, power than 99.9999% of the planet. He's over 70 years old. He could be at Mar-a-Lago playing 2 rounds of golf every day for the rest of his life, living a good life without anybody bothering him, scrutinizing every single word he says, every single movement he makes. But that's why I'm convinced how much he cares about this country, is because despite assassination attempts, despite false charges against him, despite the use of the Department of Justice used against him, despite impeachment, despite lie after lie after lie about him, he still wants to be president because I genuinely believe he wants the best for this country. Let's get back to the video.
To do what? Because
To
we
be
have specific
equally as
crimes.
aggressive.
To
To
launch
be equally as
investigation
aggressive.
on political targeting.
He has specific crimes with which he was charged. What are the specific crimes with which you want to charge Liz Cheney? That she stood up to Donald
Well,
Trump?
that's not the
that she did
point.
her
That's not the point.
oversight
Hang on, that's not the
duties
point.
As
No,
a congressperson?
No, but Julie, the point is, we don't know, because what is being mooted is that there are going to be blanket immunities against any crime that may have been committed, which does, I'm afraid, prompt the question, what are they hiding? Why are you so scared? If there's literally nothing there,
Well, first
if
of
none
all,
of
they're
them
not
did
taking
anything
them.
wrong,
Do you see Liz Cheney
why do
accepting
you
it?
need blanket
Do you
immunity?
see- Because you have a Justice Department that was just told in very clear terms by Donald Trump to the people that he's putting in there, whom he considers to be his loyalists, that he believes that these people committed crimes by investigating him. That is what they're looking into. Not that they might have smoked pot back in 1974 in college.
Why would you need a
Not
pardon
that they
for
might
that,
have
though?
driven drunk in 1983. For what?
Yeah, but why would you need a
Why do you
pardon
need a
for that? It
pardon?
makes no
Bec-
sense. So if Trump, even if Trump
because
is
nobody
investigating,
wants to
hang on.
go-
Let me ask the question. Even if it were the case that Trump wanted to open an investigation as to whether or not there was foul play during the previous administration's investigations of him, why in the world would this require a pardon to these people? That makes no sense to me at all.
Because why
would there be a requirement of a
because
pardon?
why do these people need to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees on dealing with BS, which is part of their oversight duties to have
We
done.
don't know
They
if
were
it's
members
BS.
of
We haven't
Congress. They
investigated
have
it yet. What are you
immunity to
talking
do
about?
this.
So we just can't investigate
Excuse me,
anybody
we do
because
know
it
it's
could
BS
be
because
bad.
It is part of their.
No, we don't know.
It is part. Listen, do you understand how it works? Have you ever worked on the Hill? Because I can tell you, they have immunity as senators and Congress people to do their oversight responsibilities. There is
Well, I thought you just said
literally
a second
laws
ago
in the
that there's going to be
United
hundreds of
States-
thousands of dollars in legal fees. Now you're backtracking
because
on that?
of course you'll have to go because you're going to have to go hire lawyers to be able to prove that this was part of their
Well, I
oversight
thought you just said they had
duties.
immunity.
Do you
Like,
think
you
these
can't have
people
it both ways here.
Jesus, do you understand how this works?
Yeah.
You have to get a lawyer
trying
to go
to.
to
I'm
court
trying-
to tell a judge
Okay, so then
all of
This entire video is just the leftists making excuses and speculating, or just flat out lying, acting as if they know who has or has not committed crimes. I don't hear a solid argument out of any of them. But we want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you think it's tit for tat, and since they used the legal system to go after Donald Trump, that it's fair game now and he can go after whoever he wants? Or do you think they should just be selective and not necessarily seek retribution, but just go after people that there is sufficient evidence to investigate them? Let us know what you think. That's it for this video. Really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.